All right. All right, what's up, guys? So I didn't film yesterday's intro or the day before. Anyways, Monday I weighed in 84.75. Yesterday I weighed in 85.4. Today I weighed 85.35. So today marks the beginning of phase two. It is a 3 week block, but due to my shoulder being iffy, what we're doing is squat and deadlift will follow the same protocol as we planned originally, which is 3 weeks, 3 weeks, and then 4 week peak going to Worlds. So obviously this is phase two, 3 week block for squat and deads. Whereas for bench, what we're gonna do is we're gonna run a deload this week, and then after that we're just gonna peak it for 5 weeks straight. So that way I can take smaller jumps and just get my shoulder used to it while working with TJ to really make sure that it gets sorted out. So today, today is basically just bench only. Yesterday was squats. Pretty easy. I think generally the first few days of this week is going to be quite cruisy. Nothing crazy. It's going to be, I would say to some extent, pretty boring training. But anyways, we'll leave it off there. Check out training, and I will catch you guys in the next one. All right, what's going on, guys? So here we have my squat fours on day one. I didn't do an introduction for day one, so apologies on that end for those of you that are still watching and keeping up with the vlogs. So obviously with this week, if you followed my Instagram as well as you listened to the last vlog or you talked to me in person, I am not doing bench 4 times a week anymore. Just for this week, I'm doing 3, as well as for the upcoming week, I'll be doing 3 times a week as we try and offload the right shoulder as it's getting kind of cooked. So now I'm only benching on my day 2s, 4s, and 5s. We got rid of the 2 count pause bench day, so day 1 I'll be doing just my squat fours, and then on day 2 I'll be doing my volume bench day. For this day it was just sets of 5s, and then obviously on day 4 I will have my tempo bench with mid grip pause back offs, and then on my day 5s will be my primary bench. For this week only had to do top set of triple and back off triples. And then next week we will bring back the top single. What we're trying to do is still offload the shoulder and just really pace ourselves out. So moving forward anyways, we're going to commit to 3 times a week bench, and then if we can't really build momentum or anything, and strength is kind of not even maintaining, we will go back to 4 times a week. But for the time being, we're being more reactive to programming and adjusting as we need to go. As you can see, it's still kind of cooked where the right shoulder is still being offset, where I'm offloading into my left side. So still a work in progress, still rehabbing, still working with TJ, but we will see how it goes with each training week. All right, so day number 3, Friday, May 3rd, also happens to be my birthday. So today we're gonna go to the gym. I've got my high bar squats as usual, primary deadlifts. I've only got a top double and high bar squats, back off 7s, then 3 ascending sets of 4s for deadlifts. Obviously week 1 of each new phase, it will always be 3 sets, and then subsequently week 2 and week 3s will be the full 4 sets of the wave loaded sets. So yeah, aside from that, I'm gonna go bring you guys through my training, and then after that I've got a birthday dinner with Cheryl, so I will also show you what kind of food we're getting for my birthday. Apologies in advance, Jason. Calories are gonna be completely whacked today, but I'll get back on track. Body weight today was 85.4. I have been eating less, but body weight doesn't want to seem to drop. I've increased physical activity, so either I'm more muscular or I'm just a fat fuck. So it is what it is. All right, let's go train. All right, day 3. So we have the high bar squat double and the high bar back off 7s. These are pretty chill. I don't really have much to say on the high bar squats. We're cruising along quite nicely. Don't really feel like the right shoulder is affected as much on squat or deadlifts. It seems that the shoulder really only acts up on bench. So I guess that's actually a good thing, where I can still push squats and deads and they're still feeling pretty locked in. But this is week 4 of prep. It is also actually week 1 of phase 2. So the way my peak is, or my prep is split up into, is that we had originally 10 weeks and we broke it down as 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So this is part 2, where we will be building up again. So as you can see, the weights are all very light because week 1 of phase 2 is essentially just dropping back down and building up for 3 weeks again before we do the 4-week peak. Whereas with bench, obviously with the issues that have been ongoing, we have changed the way we're gonna prep it. So originally it was 3 plus 3 plus 4. Now what we're doing is we deloaded this week on bench, and then we're just gonna peak it for about 5 weeks straight, rather than trying to split it across the way that squat and deads have been split across. So this was the primary deadlift day, and then after that, I had a birthday dinner to go to with Cheryl, where she treated me to the Korean barbecue place, the one everyone sees on TikTok, anyways, called Coat. It's kind of bougie. Food was great, actually. They gave you this little broth tea thing before to kind of cleanse your palate. That was pretty G. And then the cuts were really fucking solid. Um, they gave us a lot of condiments and sides. The lettuce was fresh. The kimchi was bomb. The meat was fantastic, actually, now that I think about it. I think they started us off with the hanger steak, and then after that, I believe after the hanger steak was the dry aged ribeye, and then after that should have been the Australian wagyu, and then that should have followed up with the marinated skirt steak. So all the cuts were really good, really juicy, really tender. A lot of the meat, I didn't feel like, sometimes you go to some of these places, the meat's kind of chewy. I didn't find any of the meat gamey or chewy. It was all very decent cuts. They're worth the price for we got the butcher's feast, which was 98 Sing dollars per person, which I felt was quite value for money wise, anyways. And the food you get was quite worth it. I was, for someone who eats quite a bit, I was decently full by the end of it. All right, so day number 4. It is Saturday. I woke up today 85.25. Not too bad considering yesterday was my birthday, and obviously had birthday dinner, but it was relatively healthy. It was Korean barbecue, but the meats were all um, quite lean. It was some rice, some stews, some kimchi. So as it typically goes, but it is a bougie restaurant. Obviously, you would have seen some of the food from yesterday's footage, but yeah. All right, so today we have a tempo bench single, and then mid grip pause sevens, 2 sets for back hauls, and then some upper body accessories, and then smash out some rehab. Shoulder still a bit iffy, but I mean, considering last bench session, which was 2 days ago, it went pretty okay. I'm quite hopeful that it'll be all right, but we'll see. It's still technically a deload, so take it easy and just feel out the shoulder, and hopefully we'll be able to get back into the swing of things. The plan moving forward, anyways, is to implement 3 times a week training for bench for the time being, and then if the shoulder can cope, if we know that skill and momentum is really slow, then we'll bring back the 4th bench day. But in the meantime, we're gonna just commit to 3 until the shoulder feels better. And if we can build towards Worlds with just 3, we'll commit to 3. But if we need that 4th, then we will bring back the 4th. All right, let's go head over to Strength Masters and go train. And day 4 today would be the top single tempo bench, as well as the mid grip pause sevens. These were pretty chill. I did not feel like this was much of an issue. The mid grips actually felt pretty decent on the shoulder. Didn't feel like it acted up. One thing I started noticing is that obviously with 3 times a week, it's definitely helped the shoulder recover, and smashing the rehab has helped a lot as well. But I've definitely noticed that during bench press itself, the shoulder doesn't actually act up. I don't really feel the shoulder start to really act up until after I'm done benching, or when I'm putting my shoulder in different specific positions regarding internal and external rotation. But as you can see from the elbow depth angle as well, I'm still biasing towards my left, and it's still a bit lopsided. Incredibly so, I would say. It's very obvious even in the mid grips. So that's definitely something I'm going to be paying attention to and trying to work on and focus on. But it is what it is at the moment, and I'm just trying to be able to get some pressing and volume in as much as I can. All right, what's good with it? So today is Monday, day 5. About to have my SBD session. Got my primary squats. After that, I've got primary bench. But again, this week is day 5, so it's the end of my deload week. I've only got 4 triples, and then I've got pause deadlifts, and then we're done. So yeah, I'm gonna cap off the week, and then starting on Wednesday, so my week 2, I guess, and that's pretty much 6 weeks out from Worlds. I'm gonna start using the SBD equipment because obviously being part of Team Singapore and Team Singapore being sponsored by SBD, it's required to use SBD equipment. So starting Wednesday, I'm gonna start using the SBD equipment. Doesn't change the fact, still sponsored by Stoic, so use code LIFTOFF for 10% off. Of course, still gonna rock the Stoic belt and Stoic shoes. And as you can see, Penny is pretty bored. Let's go train. And on to the last day. So this is my SBD day. Had a squat single of 212.5. Yeah, this was like very sub max. Again, we're resetting. So this is week 1 of phase 2, aka week 4. So a lot of the work is pretty cruisy. So previously in the first 3 weeks, I was doing 4x6 back offs. So for this first week, starting squats again, I'm doing 4x5, so we drop a bit of volume, but subsequently the next week's on, it will be 5x5. So similarly to how we kicked off squats in the first 3 weeks, it was 3x6 to start off, and then weeks 2 and 3 was 4x6. So here we have 4x5 and then 5x5 for weeks 5 and 6, or weeks 2 and 3 of phase 2. Then for bench, I had a top triple. So I actually did 155 for the triple, but I warmed up with 155 as a last warm up single just to get a feel for it. And I think that actually worked out well because then I could see what the shoulder was able to tolerate. Um, I would call it an RP5 where it didn't necessarily feel heavy, but I can definitely tell that I was trying to control the way I was pressing a lot more than usual. And it's because of this rack here where I always clip the rack and I always kind of slide. It's the bench pad seems to be stiffer than the others as well, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but because the rack is kind of slanted as well, it kind of messes a bit with my setup as well as how I actually am able to press. So I was definitely a lot more apparent of the way I was pressing and just being a bit more conscious of how I was pressing. With deads, easy pause single at 230, and then after that I had the every minute on the minute singles of 212.5. Very easy singles, didn't feel like it was much work. Cruising along quite nicely. Overall, squats and deads have been a non-issue thus far. I've been taking care of my hips, so that's a non-issue. It's just more or less now bench is suffering because of the shoulder, but I think as long as I stick to the rehab, we'll be sweet. So that pretty much wraps up the vlog for this week. I'm off to go do my rehab. Thanks for watching again, guys. Hopefully some new content coming out pretty soon, but like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.